My name's Mikey Neilson. I am the programming director of this entire show. So, hope you guys are having fun, because I'm in charge of all your fun, so if not, that's my fault. I also run a podcast called Chronicles of the Nerds. Anybody who's listened to that show knows I'm a little bit of a fan of the Power Rangers. A little bit. All right, a lot. So it's part of my contract that I actually get to run all the Power Ranger stuff. So with a huge honor, I have to say, we have up for you Walter Jones and Karan Ashley. Give it up for them.
What's up? Yeah, baby.
I need to know what time it is.
On command.
I didn't know if they knew. Wait, what time is it?
That's
what I'm talking
right.
about. Yeah.
I met you guys backstage. We talked a little bit, and I think I was just so in the moment of, doing my job that I didn't actually get that chance to freak out a little bit. So I'm doing it right now. I'm having that moment.
Yay!
It's awesome. You guys are great. And I don't know if you guys saw the Straight Out of Angel Grove.
Where's Eddie? Is Eddie in the house? Eddie, a gentleman gave me this amazing gift and gave one to Walter too. So thank you, Eddie, wherever you are.
Straight out of Angel Grove.
He's straight out of Portland, so y'all got to check him out.
Yeah. So we have some microphones set up. You guys can start lining up for all your questions. I have a couple for myself because I'm insanely selfish. So we're going to kind of start with a couple of mine because, well, first off, I need to know how you guys became Power Rangers because you guys both came about it different ways. Mostly I want to know because I just need to know what I need to do to become a Power Ranger. So if you guys could kind of talk to me a little bit about what the casting experience was like and everything like that.
Well, to start, I had an agent, and my agent called me about the role and said, hey, they want to see you for this television show, kids show. It's this new show. It's about superheroes, and, you have to do martial arts and dance and be able to do gymnastics, all of which I could do. And I was like, that's awesome. But I was actually on a plane to go do Star Search in Florida. So I was going to miss the audition. So I was like, I'm sorry, I can't make it. And so I did Star Search. I lost. and then I came back, and they called me, and they said, they still want to see you. So can you make it this Thursday or whatever? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I went to the audition, and basically that's what it was. They had me do, they had me go in a room, and they had me dance. They put on some music. It was like not even hip-hop music. It was something that was crazy. But
It was that Angel Grove music.
yeah, right, I was like, what is this? And so I had to dance, and then they asked me to do a flip, so I did a couple backflips in the room, and then they said, do some martial arts, and then said, now put it all together. And I was like, wow, okay.
Wait, so you had to invent hip-hop keto on the fly?
I had to invent hip-hop keto on the fly.
Like, it took Bruce Lee. It took Bruce Lee mastering like 5 martial arts and putting it all together for a decade to do Jeet Kune Do, and you put hip-hop keto.
5 minutes later, hip-hop
exactly.
keto.
Well, I came up with a concept for it.
Yeah.
So, so, after, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks or so through the casting process, it took a long time. They saw a lot of people. They whittled it down like 5 casts of 5. There was like a tall cast, a short cast, a weird cast, and there's all this different stuff. And then they whittled it down, and then they picked us. And so we started the show. We did the pilot, and the pilot, they got picked up for 40 episodes, and then they turned it into the series, and here we are today.
So,
Crazy.
Yeah. Now for Karan, you came along a completely different way.
Yeah, it was a totally different journey. Obviously, the show was a hit. It was like a hit show, and these guys had paved the way for us. And I heard from a friend that there was an ad in the newspaper. I had an agent, but she didn't tell me anything about it. But it was an ad in the newspaper saying they were looking for, young teenagers, and you had to be a martial artist, a dancer, or a gymnast. I was a dancer. Yeah, and literally we went in, and I had like a dance routine. I kind of just, freestyled really quick. And the funny thing was, I was like thinking they were gonna play some music, and they were like, no, just dance. And like, no music at all. And I'm like, okay, whatever you want. So I hit some sort of move. It impressed them enough for them to say, can you come back this afternoon?
Did you bust a split?
I didn't even bust a split. I was just, I can't even remember what I did, but I came back that afternoon, and at this time we had to do like more of an acting audition. And so we did that, and she was like, and they had a radio this time, so they were able to play some music. And so I danced, and they videotaped it, and there was literally thousands of people that were there. I mean, it was an all-day process. 4 days later, I get a call like 8 in the morning, and they were like, can you come to LA tomorrow? And I was like, what? And so I was like, absolutely. Got on a plane, and we found out at this point that they were looking in New York, LA, Atlanta, and like 5 other places. But there were thousands of people who had showed up for this. And we get to LA, and it was literally like 3 or 4 hours of just going in the room, auditioning by yourself. And then I went in, and we auditioned as a group, and they actually put me, Johnny, and Steve together, which coincidentally, we were all out of Dallas. Like, we were all at the same audition.
The Dallas crew.
The Dallas crew. And then they mixed us up, and like you said, there was a tall crew, there was a small crew. I mean, it was just like, it was all over the place. And by that afternoon, they put the 20 people in the room, and they were like, okay, you get the part, and you get the part. And we lost our minds, and the rest of the people were crying. We were like, sorry, not sorry. Yay!
And you knew going into it exactly like this was Power Rangers?
No, we didn't know until that callback that we were gonna, that these guys had left. We just knew that it was to be on the show. So, and I didn't.
Like, you're thinking you're just gonna be like person number 5?
Yeah, we thought we would be Power Ranger number 6, 7, and 8, or whatever it was, And no, it was like we found out that we were gonna be taking their place and filling obviously some huge shoes, and we were starting work that Monday, and that's kind of how it happened. So 4 days later, my life changed.
So just like that, like.
And yeah, FedEx your clothes, and here's some money. We're gonna ship your car, and
then there's going to be an action figure off of you,
right?
And you're going to be like,
you're going to do a movie. Yeah, it was like I got the golden ticket. Honestly, it was amazing.
Well, so Walter, you knew what you were getting into then, but you didn't. I mean, you're just showing up for a show. You're thinking it's going to be what, a kid show?
We had no clue. I mean, when we did the pilot, I took the pilot home to show it to my family, and they were like, "Oh, that's nice." Oh, yeah, that's, keep it up.
Good luck, son.
That's, it was just this weird kind of thing. And after the pilot got picked up and we started filming the episodes, the show got better. And, our chemistry grew. And, man, within, I think, the first 2 weeks of it airing, the producers were like, you have the #1 show. And we were like, we have the what? Your show is #1 on all the ratings. We were like, wow, we got #1 show. I mean, we didn't really know what that meant. It was like, okay, that's cool, awesome. We had no idea what the show was gonna be. I mean, and here we are, guys, 22 years later.
22 years later.
Look at that.
Thank you.
And not just that, but 22 years later, like,
Because of these guys. I mean, honestly, it's such a testament to the fans that they have kept the show alive. And not only do they continue to watch, but like now, they're little bitty kids, know everything about season 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Like, it's amazing.
Season 20.
Season 20, yeah. I mean, it's just the fans have done it. Yeah.
So I do want to say the very first Power Rangers action figure I got was the 12-inch tall Black Ranger figure.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the first thing. And I'll tell you one thing, and I'll be honest with you, I'd only seen commercials for Power Rangers at that point, and I go, that looks so cool. And, I was an obnoxious kid, and I begged for it, and I got it. And then it was like the Green Ranger episodes were on, and I just got addicted, like you hear about.
They were addicted. It was like they were all cliffhangers. So it was like, tune in tomorrow and find out if they will all die.
No. Yeah. And for me, I'm like, I have to. The logic sensors are out the door. Like, no, I have to do this because if I don't view, well, they're all gonna die, and
right.
It's gonna be. My cousin's actually in the audience, and he and I used to go out to a trampoline and kick each other's butts every day like we were Power Rangers.
You're the reason we got all those letters about kids beating up kids, and we were like, look, mom and dad, little John Johnny and Bobby would have kicked each other anyway.
You know,
but it was all
put
the
'em in
Power
martial arts
Rangers'
class.
fault.
You know, a lot of parents took the kids and they put them in a martial arts class.
Yeah.
And said, now we got a bunch of people that look like nerds there to kick your butt.
Right. Lethal.
Well, yeah, you have like the next. You guys are single-handedly responsible for the next generation of kids who think they can just, solve all crime and kick everyone's butt. When it comes to the actual filming of the show, I mean, it's such a weird hybrid show that really hadn't been done at least too often before you guys. A lot of the Power Rangers footage comes from Japan. And you guys do all the live action, but then you kind of mold it together. I'm just kind of curious, from your guys' perspective, what was that process like?
Well, in the beginning, it was very odd. It was like, okay, so, wait, how are you doing this? You got half a show here and half a show there, and we're filming our part, and then you we have to put voices to them. So I think the first time we did ADR, and we had to do, ADR to the Japanese footage, they're like jumping in the Zord, and they're like, and they have lines. They're like, you're gonna say, you're going down right now, are you ready to go? Here we go, and something. I'm like, I gotta fit all that into this. It's like, and you find a way, and it's like, the Japanese movement was definitely very rigid and staccato. So you had to say your line like this because this is what we're gonna do. It was like, yeah, it was hero speak. It was pretty crazy, and so it was odd in the beginning, but we grew accustomed to it, and eventually we were doing our own footage as well. So.
Yeah, by the time I got on, we were, like you said, we were doing a lot. They were shooting a lot of it because they started running out of footage.
Yeah.
So they were a well-oiled machine at this point. They'd worked out all the kinks, so by the time we got there, it was like, it was kind of crazy. But what I loved about the show when we were on was that we got to do civilian fights, which were super popular with the fans because we got, they wanted to see us actually do it out of costume. And nowadays, I don't even think they do that. And I think that's one of the reasons why Mighty Morphin, the series, has been so popular because of you had 100 episodes to get to know us, and you got to see us fight. And then at the end, we became Power Rangers. But it was like we honestly fought the fight and were the team. And
So you were
could
in the
connect.
costume a lot of times?
No.
But like the park fights and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Like in the park fights, that was us. They didn't have a stunt double. They wouldn't.
I'm a
we would
huge
kick a
defender of that because I for some reason people like laugh when a 26-year-old man is still keeping up to date. I'm now 32 and still up
You're
to date.
amongst friends. Look out. There's a lot of you.
I know. Thank you guys. We have a support group. It's great. You can join. No. But it's one of those things where it's like, no, I defend this show because I'm like, especially those early seasons, like that's really them out there, like doing the choreography. I know, particularly I've seen when I was talking to Jason David Frank, he was saying it's like he wrote his choreography.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Like he actually came up with everything he did, all the
Yeah.
flips, and I know it's same with you guys.
I mean, who could do hip hop
Hip-hop
keto?
keto,
but me?
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not something
Made
you
it
just
up. Yeah.
tell somebody to go
And
do.
you literally had 30, they were like, okay, here's 20 minutes. Go over there.
Oh yeah, go over there, take
Figure it
4
out.
putties, figure it out. Okay.
And you
Yeah.
combined live action kung fu with superheroes with teen drama, and then you end it with a kaiju fight. No show
We
does
can't go
that.
wrong.
That's like 4 genres of a show all crammed into one.
And a multicultural cast. So it was like,
Yeah.
literally, yeah. It was like Power Rangers, they were so ahead of the curve. Like, everybody had somebody to relate to. And I mean, think about it. This is the first black,
Live-action
superhero. I'm
Yeah.
the first female. Like, that was huge.
Yeah.
Twee was the first Asian. I mean, it was like, these were huge accomplishments that were never talked about,
And it's something that the series has never stopped doing. I mean, you see everybody, you see Native American, you see Arab folks, you see, every single ethnicity has
smart.
been represented through that show throughout the history.
Everyone was a hero. And everybody got to
Exactly.
save the day at some point,
And that's, and that
We all
goes
got an
back to my first question is because I want to be a Power Ranger.
Yeah,
I don't
He's like,
see
how
many,
do I sign up? I
don't-
just need to sign up.
I don't see many chubby Power Rangers.
that's okay. But look at Bulk and Skull. They were rocking
They were
it.
heroes.
They're
in the
heroes.
end.
That
Thank
was
you.
the other thing.
I was represented.
Like, think about, but think about how cool that was. These guys, how their character arcs evolved. And even like Billy was, quote unquote the nerd. And he was, hanging out with the jock and hanging out with the girl next door. And it was like, it kind of, brought down all of those crazy, like you're only friends with this certain type of person.
Yeah.
Everybody was friends, and literally everybody saved the day. And I was so proud to be, leading one of the charges of girl power. You know, the girls weren't wimps. We weren't like crying in the corner. We actually got in there and fought too. So it was awesome. Yeah.
I was just going to say, how many girls out here wanted to be superheroes because of Karen? There you go, lots of hands.
Yeah, Amy Jo, me, Twee, like everybody was, I love that about this show because before then, you never saw teenage girls outside of being like some sort of a victim. We were heroic. So that's so awesome.
I could literally, I could literally sit here and talk about all my questions all day because I have enough. But we have so many fans here that came all the way to see you. Some of them awesome costumes, by the way.
I know.
Thank you.
So let's start over here with the first question.
This question's for Mr. Jones. Did you ever have
It's like, where's that coming from?
Did you ever have a crush on Kimberly?
I think everybody had a crush on Kimberly.
I had a crush on Kimberly. Everybody had a crush on Kimberly. She's amazing.
Of course, nobody would act upon it because we were kind of a family. We're like, we're working together every day. We see each other every day. It's too close for comfort. You're like, all right, get out of my face. Go over there. But
15 hours with someone, you don't want to
Exactly.
date them.
but beautiful girls, both Kimberly and Amy Jo and Twee Trang were very beautiful and very cool, and I consider them like sisters.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we got right over there.
Hi. Important question. What's your favorite sea creature? Both of you.
Sea creature.
Yes.
That's a first. I've never been asked that.
I get that a lot.
So you mean real sea creature or like
It
some?
could be mythological. Like some people, their favorite is Kraken or whatever. Like whatever sea creature.
That Kraken is cracking.
Does
Yeah.
the Dragon Zord count?
Right, does the Dragon Zord would
Absolutely.
go through the ocean.
Absolutely.
I go Dragon Zord for 500, Alex.
Perfect.
I'm gonna have to go with the orca. I'm just,
Oh, no. I'm from Seattle. Orca is fine.
I'm a fan of the Predator. I'm just saying, he's awesome.
Thank you for your question. Let's get you over here.
Okay, first, I just need to say I know everybody's here to see Zach, but I wanted to give a momentary shout out to Harlan Band. No
What's up?
applause from anybody.
Hello,
for
Harlan Band. Space Casey's.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
My question is, do either one of you when everything was done and you weren't actively involved in that Power Rangers world as much, did either of you have any memento or a particular token that you kept to look back on those times?
I kept Karen. She's my woman.
I know.
No.
I think that, but you say that. That's kind of true. Like,
Yeah,
we
right?
kept, like, once you're in the family, you're in the family.
Exactly.
Like, there's not a Power Ranger I haven't met that I don't love. And, like, literally, like, 2 weeks ago, we really met, like, for myself, I really met the Megaforce
yeah.
cast, and we had dinner. And it's like, you, like, walk up to a fellow Ranger, and you're like, hi. And me and Sierra were like, hi,
yeah,
how
we're
are
part of the
you?
family.
Touching each other like we're unreal. And it's, it's like instant family, instant sisterhood, instant brotherhood. But no, I didn't steal anything like some of the other guys. And I'm pissed because they were stealing like costumes and I was like the honest one. And I'm mad that they didn't tell me.
Not even your morpher? You didn't even take your morpher?
No morpher, no...
Everybody had.
Nothing, no communicator, no morpher, nothing.
You didn't even, like,
And I
steal
would
a
have.
donut from Craft Services?
I
Nothing?
should have. And the funny thing is, like, David has something. Walter, you have something. Everybody has something. I don't have anything. But the things that I do have, fans have made for me. So, in a crazy way, it means more to me than it ever would because they made it. So.
Thank you both.
I didn't steal anything, but I did manage to have a couple of things. I walked away with a shirt one time. I have it. It's hanging in my closet. I went to an event recently where it was a costume event, and I wore it. Nobody knew what it was, but it was interesting. It was like one of the striped shirts.
They're probably like, "What's that retro shirt you got on?"
Exactly. What's that? So I have that. I have the skateboard from the pilot that I rode in on. and that was given to me by Mark, the prop guy. I have the sign for the juice bar, the neon sign.
That's awesome.
That's actually
That's
pretty cool.
awesome. I would
Tell me
like.
you have like a man cave that's got that
I
hanging.
might break into your
Not
house
yet.
and get that
I haven't put it up yet, but I still have it.
Well, I do want to touch on what you were saying earlier, though, because we were talking about this backstage, how you guys were never actually on screen together, but you like go to shows together. I see you guys with cast from many seasons later. But yeah, you guys have kind of created this Power Rangers family that, once a Ranger, always a Ranger mentality.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful thing because, like I said, we had huge shoes to fill. It wasn't like we didn't know how popular, these guys were. So when we got on, I was kind of like, uh-oh, But it's so amazing that the Comic-Con world has brought us together. And like literally, I see Walter, 20 weekends out of the year. And me, him, Austin have created such a friendship. And I'm so thankful for that. And I just, and then what's even better is that we're experiencing a whole new life to what we did 20 years ago. We get to meet these amazing fans who've restored our love for the show. Like we kind of all left abruptly. And so now here we are today, and it's like everyone's coming up and telling us their amazing stories on how the show changed their life, and I get to experience that with them. So it's kind of cool. We work
The
together.
thing that's so cool is you guys used to be kids. So back then, right, you were little, you were itty bitty. And some of you have kids, and some of you have come up with your kids, and your kids are shy. They're like, I don't want to talk. I'm not going to look at them. It's like, but that used to be you guys.
Yes.
And your parents were different because they weren't fans of the Power Rangers before. This was just this thing that was on TV, these toys they had to buy. They didn't really get it.
They were kind of
but
mad.
They were kind of mad.
They stood in line for
They
hours.
stood in line for 4 hours waiting to get to the front, and you got up there and wouldn't even say hello, wouldn't even look at us. And it was like, that was pretty commonplace. Kids would freak out and be like, and then as soon as they walked away, they were like, it was cool. But now you are the parents, and you're coming up with your kids, and your kids do the same thing, but it's okay, because you're like, it's okay, and that's, it's interesting to see the difference. Plus, it's odd because, of course, we go to the kids, we see the kids, hey, how you doing? We'll talk to them, and then you guys are standing back there like this.
Talk to me. Talk to me. Just say hi to me. I'm here too. And like you walk up as adults, and like literally, if you could see your eyes change, and you become 7 years old.
Exactly.
And we'll be like talking to your baby, and then we'll go, so who am I making this autograph out to? And you're like, that would be for me. It's to mom and dad.
Exactly.
And we're like, oh, sorry.
I really grew up with it.
Right.
So.
I was going to say, for me, it's just like, move, kid.
Right. You're stealing my shine. You're taking my thunder. It's for me.
Let's get a question over here.
So I have to say that I actually grew up with Power Rangers since the original, and I'm curious if either of you are going to make a cameo in the new movie.
Aha! And there's the $100 question.
I know. We get asked that every city, every weekend.
It remains to be seen. We'll see what happens.
I know. Hopefully, I'm excited, though. There's a new movie, and I hope it's everything you guys hope for. And I encourage you to write in and say you want to see some of the original Mighty Morphin cast members in this movie, because it is a Mighty Morphin movie. But you guys know Saban, Lionsgate, they're not a sentimental bunch. So the only way they're going to do it is if they know that you want it. So specifically ask for people.
The perfect part if you like play the parents.
Right.
Like whoever's playing, because I know that they actually at least leaked the cast descriptions of everybody, and they're sticking with the original cast. It looks
Yeah.
like. So it'd be great if you came and you were like Zach's father.
that'd be
now.
awesome.
Yeah, but the problem is I can't play my own son's father.
Right.
Nobody
doesn't-
believes it. They're like,
He's
what's going on.
20.
It's crazy.
He's a vampire. He's like, it's so funny. He posted a picture recently of your great-grandfather.
My granddad.
Yeah, and they're twins. And I was like, you're a vampire. You don't age. You're like,
You guys both
that's
look
what it is.
like you're still 18. Both of you look that age. Like you guys
Thank
look like
you.
you could seriously do it.
black don't crack.
Yep. Black don't crack.
Zach don't crack.
Zach don't crack. Yeah.
Let's get this question over here.
First off, it's great to meet you guys, and thank you, Walter, for dancing with my daughter, Trini. She turns a year old tomorrow. And me and my husband were wondering, what are you guys' thoughts about the fan-made film? about the Power Rangers.
The kind of.
Oh, the evil twin, Power
the
Rangers,
violent
evil
one?
twin.
That kind of violent one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, that was interesting. I got to say this. Okay, so a lot of you are adults. So for adults, all right, cool.
Awesome,
that's
right?
interesting,
It was
right?
like amazing
It
for
was
adults.
well done. It was well acted. There were like great effects, and it was exciting. It was exhilarating. But for kids who we're still, we
Who
still
are on
apply to,
computers
who are
and
on
Who the show
computers,
is for.
looking,
Yeah,
looking at
exactly.
YouTube.
Who the show is for. If they look up Power Rangers and that comes up, then I'm scared. I'm like, that's
12
not what I
million
want them to
views,
see.
so it comes up, yeah.
Yeah. But
He's a dad.
for adults, all right, cool. I thought it was interesting. It's we live in a world where there's free speech and creative ideas are not muted, and I thought what their vision was really interesting. It'd be interesting to see what happened with Power Rangers if it just was dark. It has the possibilities.
I love the Zach character. That was my
Yeah,
favorite
he kinda
character.
was
Like
and the
he
biggest
stole the
action scene in the
show.
movie.
Like
Yeah.
that character was like the most well written and best. It was like awesome. But
Ichi
he's
Gumba,
right.
the guy who played it, he did a good job.
Yeah. I thought it was very entertaining. I mean, obviously, people have been wanting a edgier version of Power Rangers, but he's right. I never thought about that. I was like, oh, I love it. And we're going, different cities ask us this, and I'm like, I thought it was creative, and I was so excited about it. But then these guys are fathers, and they were like, I don't want my kid to search, and it is a kid's show. And I was like, that's true, it is a kid's show. So it didn't have what I love, which is that, rated G extra cheese that Power Rangers would give us. I like it. It did have that hip hop keto. I like that part.
When that video came out, because everybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Power Ranger fan, so I'm getting text message links to it. Seriously, first off, I knew about it already, guys. All right. But all of a sudden I'm getting bombarded with this, and it's like people are waiting for me to make a public statement. Where does Mikey stand on this? And then I had to send out a press release or something with it. Just how I felt about the Power
We did too.
Rangers.
It was hilarious. It didn't matter what we thought, but it was cool. I mean, it was cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right over there.
This is 2 quick questions for both of you. Number 1, if you could be any other Ranger, who would you be? And number 2, do you have any fun stories of pranks with the whole cast, like with Yost or David or anyone like that?
I'd be Walter Jones if I could be. What's funny though was when they wrote the character of Aisha, I think they wanted Aisha to be Zach. It was a lot of the same things, and they wanted me to do the hip hop keto stuff. And I luckily for me, they were supportive enough in my decision where I was like, I want her to be her own. He did that. He did it amazingly. I don't want fans and kids to be confused. But I don't know that I'd want to be another Ranger. I really loved being the Yellow Ranger and loved stepping into those shoes. And yeah, we've got probably 1,000 stories of pranks and funny moments, and it's still going because we're still hanging out. So yeah, it's last night, that was funny moment, but yeah. So I'd stay yellow.
Yeah, I gotta stick with the Black Ranger, man. I'm like the Mastodon. Hey, it's funny because a lot of people ask me this question. They go, "Is it weird that you're a black actor and you're the Black Ranger?" And I'm like, "Was it weird that the white guy was the White Ranger?" I don't know. I was like, it's okay. I was really excited and happy to be the Black Ranger. Black's one of my favorite colors. I like the suit; it looked good on me. So hey.
You were I envied that suit because I was like, black is so slimming, spandex.
Right? And as far as pranks and stuff, I mean, we did a trip to New York to FAO Schwartz. We were doing a thing there for the toys and everything. And so we're all flying there, all of us, the cast together. We're flying to New York. And I got pictures of everybody knocked out on the plane. They still don't know about it. But one day when I write my book, it'll be in there. They'll be like, hey.
Right.
Amy Jo's like, no, I'm joking.
Right.
I got a name. Just for your memoir, it's Morphin' Time. Just have that be the tell-all.
There you go.
Morphin' time.
Exactly.
Thank you. Over there.
Right. Hi. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hey, Pedro J. So mine is more of a miscellaneous question. I was just wondering if you guys could eat whatever you wanted, sort of a guilty pleasure every day, no repercussions, no consequences, just for one day. Like, what would it be?
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, just one thing?
Just, I mean, if you want, you could do dessert, I guess.
Macaroni and cheese, baby,
All right,
all
there you
day,
go.
every day. Like, I've been trying. I ate macaroni and cheese every day as a kid, and now I still want to do that.
Man, you know, I
You
would have
can't
to
eat it.
say it's got to be fresh chocolate chip cookies right out of the
Oh
oven.
yes, yes,
That
straight out of
is
the oven,
all day,
like all
every day,
melty
just
and warm.
listen
Oh,
my
I'm like,
fingers.
yeah. Me too. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Both good
We
answers.
like staying at DoubleTrees because they give you that hot cookie.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you arrive and you get a cookie. I'm like, this is the best hotel ever.
And here's the thing. They don't tell you this, but you can go just back to the counter like, yo, can I have
Oh
another
no,
cookie?
I know. I like.
do it.
You'll be surprised. Like this Power Ranger thing works in your favor. They'll be like, come by anytime for cookies. I'm like, yeah.
Right? I got to work this off tomorrow.
I know.
Over here.
So what would be your guys' favorite thing that you've been able to do because of Power Rangers? Like what?
That's a good question.
You know what? I think one of my favorite things that I'm able to do it. I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. This is one of the things that makes me happiest about the fact that we did Power Rangers. It allows me to be who I am because I'm a nice person in general, but to be the nice person that I am and have it affect people that hold me in such high regard in such a positive way is amazing. Because I'm just being me. So if I meet somebody in the street, they go, "Hey, Walter, I'm a big fan," and I'm like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" Like, I give them a hug or whatever. They're like, "Oh my God, you just hugged me," you know. Like the fact that that human kindness that I give away anyway affects people in a positive way is probably my favorite thing because I love making people happy. I love making people happy. So.
Right. Yeah, I have to agree with him. I mean, we got to be superheroes. I think every kid wants. I mean, I remember being a kid and tying a towel around my neck and thinking I had a cape. Like it was like, and trying to, and I was like, exactly, jumping off of the couch. And I mean, but it's like meeting you guys. Like I said before, you guys have kept this series alive, and it's meant so much to you, and you've told us such amazing stories. And like the reality is life was life. You guys were some of you were going through really hard times as kids, and you might have been bullied, or you might not have been the kid that fit in, and we were able to give you encouragement and able to give you, like 30 minutes, an hour of your day. We made your day brighter. And today you walk up to us, and like he said, you look into our eyes and we look into your eyes, and it's still there. The magic is still there for you guys, and that's so magical to us. Like anything we give you, you guys give us back 100-fold. Like what you just don't know what you do for our lives. So, yeah.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
And that's so true. I don't know if you guys follow all of them on social media, but I follow just about every Power Ranger on social media, from Twitter and Facebook and all that. And every day, you guys, like, whether it's you two or whether it's, Jason David Frank, Austin, it's nothing but positive stuff. Like, a lot of people complain there's nothing but negativity on the internet, nothing but that. Follow Power Rangers, because every single day I see you guys like you're in character, because that's who you guys are. I had actually, you mentioned, the people going through hard times. I had a friend who lived down in LA. Their house burned down, and you guys were actually filming close to where he was. And he actually went down to set and met all you guys when he was a little kid, and that meant everything to him. You guys are that, which is pretty darn amazing. You don't get to see that.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I mean, it's just weird. People will walk up to you, and like I said, they become 7 years old again, and it's so like, wow. Like, I mean, we were actors, and we were living our dream. We were going to work every day, and it wasn't, magical always, because it was a lot of work. Like, you'd go in and it was dark. You'd go home and it was dark.
It was dark.
Yeah, and like I said, I literally was moved from Texas, my family, to LA. I had no family, no friends. Johnny and I would be like going to the movies all the time because we were the youngest on the show, and we were homesick. And literally Power Rangers, I think I was on for about a year and a half, and it was the hardest work I'd ever done in my life. I'd never have worked. I mean, I've done other shows, I've done other things, and I've never worked the hours that I worked on Power Rangers, and we were paid very little. And it was just so, like, it was like the good, the bad, the ugly wrapped into it. But it was like the reward was so big.
Yeah.
And 20 years later, we're still reaping the reward. So that's pretty amazing.
That is. Right over here.
Hi. I'm
Hi.
really excited to meet you guys because I've been a lifelong Power Ranger fan.
Woo woo.
And I was born the year that it came out, so I've been watching it since I was really little.
We've been in your life your whole life.
Yes. And I was wondering, what's the weirdest thing that happened to you guys on set?
On set. Okay, so Power Rangers is a non-union show, and when it's a non-union show, they can work you for lots of hours, and you don't have as many rights or whatever. But there was one time where we had to get this shot down at Venice Beach, and so they throw us in a van, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go get this shot down at Venice Beach, but we didn't have a license. We didn't have a permit to shoot it, so we had to do it renegade style. So they pull up, they're like,
Low
open
budget
the door.
blues.
Exactly. They open the door. The cameraman gets out. We get out. We start walking, doing the scene, and they're like, let's go. Let's get back in the van. It was crazy. That was so weird. It was like, okay, we just renegade shot a scene, for Power Rangers down on the beach without a permit. That was pretty odd. I think another thing was just when we had to fight like the monsters. It's a weird thing to actually have some eye guy walking up on you like, hey man, how you doing? I'm a big fan. You're like, wow, you look weird. Okay, all right, what's up? So it was just the experiences on the show were all very interesting and different.
I agree. I think he covered it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Right over there.
Hello, Walter and Miss Ashley. Nice to see you guys again. I know you guys remember my talks to both of you from yesterday. Now, my question is actually for Miss Ashley there. Is it strange to you that the mutant of all mutants, Mr. Apocalypse from the X-Men, looks a little bit like Ivan Ooze?
They just know how to steal from the best, isn't that
I know, right? I saw that, and people were like doing all these memes. Like, it just goes to show you how, unfortunately, like all these reboots and all this stuff, and I don't understand why Hollywood doesn't come to Comic-Cons and get inspiration from you guys, because you guys are so creative with your cosplay and all that stuff, and I feel like sometimes Hollywood drops the ball in creativity. But yeah, it was like one of Ivan Ooze's henchmen. Like there was a guy that was running around the set that looked just like him. But yeah, he's right. It's like such a shout out to Power Rangers on how cool they did it back then.
Second thing is, I don't know if this might be appropriate, but can I get a hug from both of you guys?
Of course.
Yes.
You know what? Come to our table. When we're done here, we're actually going back to our booths. And what is it, main events, or what is the...
Yeah, just on the main floor. There's
The
the,
main
whole
floor.
area.
Come down to see us
We're
down
gonna,
there.
yeah, we'll give you a hug. We'll give everybody a hug. We're doing photo ops there today.
Yeah.
We're actually doing autographs still, and we will have a professional photo op, but we are doing them at our table also. So yes, come hug me.
Just that, like I was telling both of you guys, I've been a big, huge fan since the show's inception in '92. I was like about 13 years old. And Miss Ashley, oh my God, you just kind of nailed it on the head. I was actually in one of those very dysfunctional homes. I was getting beat up by my mom. I was getting raped by my dad. And I was like trying to kill myself like multiple times from the age of 10 to about 17. And if it wasn't for Star Trek The Next Generation, Power Rangers, multiple shows that I was getting myself into, all the fandoms, I would not be here to even tell you guys that I love you guys so much.
Well, we're happy you're here, baby.
Oh, we love you.
And just to remind you guys have an 8-year-old fangirl in my little daughter.
God bless you. God bless you. You
Pass
guys
along
are the real
positivity.
heroes.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Let's get a question over here.
Kind of following on the topic of Ivan Ooze, I've got a question for you, Miss Ashley. Can you please describe your experiences working on the movie?
Oh my gosh, it
Very
was
different from the show.
Yeah, well, the show, we used to shoot like maybe 4 to 5 episodes every 2 weeks. So that's kind of crazy because normally you'll shoot one episode of a TV show a week. but we were on every day, and the networks were like, we need more episodes. I mean, it was such a phenomenon. And we go to the movie. They flew us to Australia, which was amazing. None of us, I don't know, had been out of the country, maybe one person. But it was like our first time out of the country. And we were supposed to shoot for 3 months. We ended up shooting for 6 months. And we even shoot up like TV episodes there. And it was just amazing. Like the sets, like where the command center was probably, the size from that chair to the wall, on the TV show, the command center was 3 of these rooms. Or the big fight at the end, when we were fighting those rock monsters. They built this huge set. They got the guys from Indiana Jones to come and do this huge set for us to have this amazing fight. So everything was like bigger and better and through the roof. But it was crazy because you'd go on set and it took like a month to shoot one section of the film. Or they'd say, we're gonna light, and you were like, okay. And then 5 hours later, they'd come and get you and say, come to set. So it was a lot of hurry up and wait, and it took a long time for us to get used to the slow pace of that. But it was pretty amazing what we were able to come up with.
I'm sure that beats having to do guerrilla filmmaking, like running from the cop.
Right,
Oh, Power Ranger!
right.
Control that environment.
Exactly.
Thank you. Right over there.
I have a question for both of you. Who would you be if you can't be by you two, like the Black and Yellow Ranger? Who else would you be?
Who else would I be?
Like the Queen or the evil Queen.
I would be Lord Zed. No, you know what? If I had to be another Ranger and I couldn't be the Black Ranger because I love the Black Ranger, I would probably want to be a Red Ranger. I probably would want to be like Austin St. John's character Jason. Because he was the leader. He was like, all right, guys, here we go. He's like the rough and tumble and let's command it. And he got to fight Godar all by himself, and he had to handle a lot of stuff. So I think maybe if I had to do it, I would be that Red Ranger.
Yeah, I think I'd want to be a monster. I'd want to be like one of the bad guys. I always wanted them to like Aisha to go under a spell and become a bad, be bad like the Green Ranger was, or Kat when she came on, she was bad. But I never got to do that, so I probably want to be a bad guy.
You would have
Maybe
been good
Rita.
at being bad.
I'd be a good Rita.
Yeah. Oh, Rita.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Well, that actually kind of, reminds me, is, aside from being Rangers, you guys have all gone on and done other things. I mean, you actually voiced some monsters on the show, too, afterwards.
I voiced a monster on the Forever Red episode. So.
Yeah, one of the Machine Empire. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're on Beetleborgs, too? Oh, was it? Okay. But you've gone on. You've done the Shield. You've been on the Shield.
Yeah.
You won some awards for that.
No, the show.
Oh, the show,
when
yeah.
I was on the show, it won an Emmy and a Golden Globe. So it was, and it was also working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also working with Michael Chiklis, who was amazing actor, and a number of other guys on there that continue to work, and it was amazing show. I got to be a bad guy on that show. It was Rondell Robinson. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
And then you were in Brink. You got Star Trek Captain Pike that you're working on up next.
Yeah, that's coming up, and I shoot that in January with Walter, and I'm excited about that. That's just to be part of the Star Trek label at all. It's kind of cool. So another franchise. And
then what was Legend of the Sword?
Yes, it's an animation project I'm going to be working on soon. So far tied to the project, Will Smith and his son are going to be on.
Great.
Voicing characters as well. So.
And then you, Karen, you've been doing talk shows. You were in a girl band, right, for a while?
Yeah. Before Power Rangers, I had a record deal.
Yeah.
I was in a group called Crush, and we were signed to A&M Records, and we worked with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and a lot of people know they produced Janet Jackson, so we were so honored to work with them. But yeah, I was in the group, and now we kept pounding the pavement. And got to work on a lot of really cool sitcoms like Hanging with Mr. Cooper and Keenan and Kel, and a lot of people will go, oh my God, that was you on Keenan and Kel, and I saw that when I was 10. I didn't realize it was Aisha. And so I've done that and a bunch of other sitcoms. I've been very blessed, and now it's funny. I'm going into producing, and I do Uncensored Talk. where we've got some really cool episodes we're shooting in the next few months, and you guys are going to love it because all the Power Ranger episodes are our highest viewed episodes, so we're doing a lot of Power Ranger stuff. And David Fielding and I are actually co-writing a movie script, so we're working on that right now, and yeah, so it's just really cool. We're having fun.
Right on. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So we only have time, I'm probably going to say, for 2 more questions. So you hit it right there.
Hi. 2 things. First of all, we were talking about the diversity of the cast. I remember being in kindergarten or something, and I really wanted to be the red Power Ranger. And all my friends, they're 5, but they were like, no, you have to be the black Power Ranger because, you have brown skin. And I'm like, I'm Indian, come on.
TJ was the black guy. He was the Red Ranger for a while.
Yeah.
Probably later, right?
But I remember just being like, no, the Power Rangers, you can be whoever you want. So I went as the
whoever
red
you
Power
wanna be,
Ranger, and I'll always remember that. And then my question is, we're talking about how we all look up to the Power Rangers as superheroes. And I'm wondering, since you guys were the Power Rangers, you probably didn't look up to yourselves the same way. So I'm wondering, who did you guys look up to? What show, was your guys' Power Rangers?
Well, I was a big family. First and foremost, I got to give it up to my parents for raising me and my family they were role models for me. But television-wise and movies-wise, I love Bruce Lee. So I was like, woo! Yeah. I was like, he was definitely a motivator as far as wanting to be a martial artist. And then the former Jim Kelly, he was in Enter the Dragon. He was in that show. He was the black guy that was super fast and slick. And I actually got to meet him at one of the cons before he passed away. And it's funny because he'd come up to my table and I didn't know who he was. And he was looking at my pictures and he goes, "Oh, that's a really nice sidekick. Good form." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "You're a martial artist?" He's like, "Well, I'm a master." I was like, "Really? What's your name?" He said, "Kelly, Jim Kelly." And I went, "Oh my God, you're Jim Kelly. Oh my God, thank you, sir." I was like, wow. So it was pretty amazing, and so those are some of the people I looked up to.
My reaction would have been,
awesome.
"You are straight out of a comic book." Yeah, I love that line. That movie's so good.
You know what? Same thing. I look up to my mom was a single mom, and my mom and dad divorced when I was really young. So it was but they were honorable people, and they both respected each other, and I look up to them because they taught me, I didn't have to choose between the two of them. But as far as TV goes, I wanted to be Wonder Woman all day, every day. I wanted to be her. I just couldn't imagine. And then when I started to want to be an actress, I remember I used to always say, I want to be a legendary actress one day. I want to be a legend to someone. And of course, I met Nichelle Nichols doing these Comic-Cons, and I'm like, oh, she's a legend, and I'm her friend, and we get to do shows together. And in a way, I guess, you guys have made Power Rangers such a legendary show, so I get to be a part of that. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we got one question left from an R2D2 over here.
The best question ever.
Yeah.
I can
Last
feel
question.
Hi, my name is Sydney.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
I'm a big fan of you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yay.
Yay!
You know what?
Thank
That's
you,
the way to
Cindy.
close it. We're all
The
big fans.
best way to close it. We're going, before we leave, like I said, we're going right back to our tables. So if we haven't gotten a chance to meet you, if you have your collectibles, want them autographed, whatever, we're doing autographs, we're doing photo ops at our table, and then we do have a professional photo op at 2 o'clock. But come and meet us. We want to hug you, all of you. I know we owe a hug to someone. Yes. So please.
Great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get over for Walter Jones and Karen Ashley.
Thank you.